Hi, I'm Marlene Norcross. I've been a real estate agent now for 3 years, but I've been in real estate for over 30 years with my husband, Wayne Norcross. We own City Real Estate, and we believe that our community involvement is what makes our brokerage strong. Our agents are localized specialists in all 5 of our offices. I personally participate in the Ellis County Museum, and I'm on their board. We participate with SPCA, the Downtown Merchants Associations, and many of the school programs locally. We believe community involvement is the backbone of City Real Estate. Last year I did $20 million in sales with over 79 transactions. That was a lot of happy clients, but what I'm most excited about is seeing that client get a new home or my sellers start their next journey. I love the thrill of the sale. So today I thought it would be fun to bring Vanessa Zamolik in and let's talk about the market. So this is Vanessa Zamolik with Guild Mortgage. Vanessa, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I have been in the mortgage industry for 30 years, starting in processing and then in sales, and have done all aspects of mortgage, so I have a pretty good background in it. I'm with Guild Mortgage, and I've been working with them 11 years, and we just enjoy doing mortgages, and we do all kinds for our customers and work really close with our real estate agents.
So if you're ready to buy or sell, I'm Marlene Norcross with City Real Estate. The best way to get a hold of me is to call me or text me at 512-431-4413. And I also want to make sure you know how to get a hold of Vanessa so you can start the loan process.
You can get a hold of me, Vanessa Zamolik, at Guild Mortgage, 469-337-4578. And you can apply at my website, www.vanessazamolik.com.
So let's go house hunting.
Hi Ellis County, I'm Amy Troll, and we're back in Becky's kitchen today. And we are making Becky's famous strawberry cake. And I'm super excited about this one because it just sounds delicious, and I've heard stories of how amazing this is. So tell us about it.
Well, yeah, I've just been making it a very long time, and I was like, I don't have the recipe memorized, you would think, after all those years. But anyway, it's moist, and I really think the secret is in the frosting, but it's not that hard to make, and I get asked for the recipe a lot. And so I'm going to share it with you today. And it starts out with a cake mix, white cake mix, and strawberry jello, which we'll put in the mixing bowl. I do that over here. Just
Okay.
and then you need a half a cup of milk. I love to do that, and it turns red. And a cup of Wesson oil. And then I'm going to mix it up just to get the lumps out of the batter before I put in 4 eggs. But here's the tricky part. It's not that tricky, but it calls for 3/4 a cup of strawberries, frozen strawberries. And it's very important that you don't get that much of the juice in there, because if you do, it might do what happened when I was making one yesterday. It fell apart. It had too much liquid in it. So I use a slotted spoon. It's okay to get some of the liquid, but seriously, you don't want that much. It's 3/4 a cup of strawberries. And kind of mash them down. You know, you have to buy them frozen and then put them in the fridge and let them thaw out. And sometimes they're hard to find, so when I see them, I buy more than one package at a time. So I always have the supplies. And what you're going to have left will be the perfect rest of the strawberries to make the icing. Let's see, that's 3/4. Okay. Now, I'm not going to put this in yet either. First, I'm going to mix this up, then I'm going to put in the eggs one at a time, and then I'll put in the strawberries at the last.
What's the significance to doing 1 egg at a time? Do you know?
You know, just so it gets well mixed in, and it's the neatest thing. You know, if you try to make a perfect fried egg on the stove, half the time mine breaks. you know. But these, did you see? You put the egg in there, and it can just be bouncing, or the yolk will bouncing around in there before it breaks. I don't understand. I have to turn it on high to get it broken. So I don't know, but I know every recipe, that's what they say to do, so that's what I do.
Yep.
Here's my famous Baker's Joy. It's PEM, or oil spray with flour in it, and it's never failed me yet. If I'm just making it, you know, like to take somewhere, I will almost always do it in the bundt pan, but you can do a layer cake too.
Okay, so this is just going to go right in here.
I'll turn.
Okay. Kind of get it even.
The batter's pretty thin. And there's, gotta get that good stuff. And it will cook. And here's another thing I always do when I'm doing cakes. I move the rack one notch down. I say I cook it slow and low. A lower rack and a slower batter. In other words, every recipe says 350. I do it at 325 because I learned that if it heats up too fast, it gets that bump on it. And not so much in a bundt pan, but, you know, and regularly. So I just always cook it slow and low, 325 for 45 minutes. And then take it, you know, test it. But it's always, and it's a moist cake. So there's going to be a little give to it. But if the toothpick comes out clean, it's done. Then you put it on a rack and cool it in the pan for at least 10 minutes before you take it out. And then let it completely cool before you ice it.
All right, so we're back. We're going to make icing now, right?
We're going to make icing. So this is another thing I do. I need one 8-ounce package of cream cheese and 1 stick of real butter. And they need to be at room temperature. So I just get these little paper plates and I put them out pretty early in the day if I know I'm going to make a cake. So when it's time to make the icing, it's ready to go. So I will put in the cream cheese and the butter. And that is going to be, I'm going to mix those together on the mixer. But I'm going to need a 1/4 cup or so of the strawberries, mostly the juice this time because this is the only liquid we're adding. I've never really, it's much better to start small and then add a little more if you need it because it gets to be really tricky if you're trying to keep adding powdered sugar and then I'll make it 1 more teaspoonful. It just needs to be a consistency that's, you know, you can spread on a cake, but you don't want it dripping off the cake, and it will if you put too much liquid. Okay, so we're going to mix up the cream cheese and the butter, then I'll add the powdered sugar and the strawberry liquid. All right, icing is finished. It's time to ice the cake. I always start in the middle on a bundt cake. And there's plenty of icing. You're not going to run out. And it's the good stuff, so I put it on pretty thick. I start in the middle and just pull it up from there. You can pull it over the top a little bit. And this is a revolving thing I got when I was taking cake decorating. It's pretty handy. Okay.
Where did you take cake decorating?
Well, I'm going to date myself. There used to be a store in Waxahachie called Mott's. Do you remember it?
I do remember Mott's.
And they had a Welton person come in, and that's when I took it a long time ago. All right, now the next thing I do is I do the sides because I hate it when a little bit of cake shows. You know? So, and the top is the easiest part, so then I go around the sides. Probably more than once, but anyway.
I turn that so.
And of course, we'll clean up and smooth it out after we'll get it all pretty much covered in icing.
This would be a good cake for like a baby girl shower.
Oh yeah, definitely. But so I taught school for a lot of years, and so whenever we would have a luncheon, I would always bring the cake, the strawberry cake. And when I retired, I decided I wanted to be a volunteer at Wildman because a lot of my teacher friends from Northside were now there, and plus I just missed the school. So I would bring strawberry cake for all their luncheons.
That's going to drive you crazy.
Yep. And one day there was going to be a PTO meeting, and I didn't exactly know where it was. I was in the parking lot, and I said, this lady got out, and I said, you know, I don't have any kids here, but I'm going to go to the PTO meeting. Can you tell me where it meets? And she went, you're that cake lady!
Your fame preceded you.
Yeah, and then of course I couldn't do it last year because of COVID.
I know.
And I didn't sign up for it this year, but I'm going to surprise them one day with some. You can't just take one.
You can see all those yummy strawberries.
Yeah, and that's what makes it so moist. It really is. But I'll have to tell you this. Yesterday, the cake that broke, and we had a little bit of it, without the icing,
This wasn't very good.
Now, I think you could have the icing without the cake.
Yes.
When we were on the gingerbread trail, we had all these people helping us, and so I made cupcakes. And we bought these cute little boxes that had a little heart window, and the cupcake was in there for all the helpers. I don't know how many cupcakes I made, and we stored them in the oven. Wasn't on, you know, and it was my husband's job after each shift to make sure that those helpers went away with their little box cupcakes.
Oh,
Hi,
there's your
Warren.
clock.
That's one of the most obnoxious of the bird sounds, by the way.
Yeah. Wonder what kind of bird
You
that
haven't heard it because usually you hear in the morning.
is.
So.
I know.
All right, now all I got to do is fill in the blanks. I always save, if I have icing left, I do save it, like if I'm taking the cake somewhere special, just in case something happens and I need to make a patch or whatever, you know, or eat it. It could be good on graham crackers or vanilla wafers, and smoothies.
With a spoon.
Yeah.
Just by itself. It's pretty, just kind of the messy look.
Yeah,
I like that.
I'm not even going to try to make it a naked cake, though. I learned my lesson.
That's on our list, though, is to get somebody in here who knows how to do the naked cake icing thing.
I bought a new cookbook. It had a picture of a naked cake on the outside, and I have that cookbook, but I haven't read it yet. So. All right, do you see any patches? 'Cause I don't like cake showing through. I like it to be, you know, oops.
Looks good to me.
Well, you get the idea.
Yeah.
Okay, and that it really,
Looks awesome.
this icing is the best.
Okay, let's
This is from yesterday.
serve this baby up.
Perfect.
That is delicious, Becky.
It is. It's just the moistest cake.
It really is. And you're right, the icing makes it.
And it doesn't last long enough to dry out, so.
There you go. This is so good.
One for the filmer. You know, I make them a bunch of these, but mostly I give them away. And so really, we don't really have this at our house too often.
Yeah.
One of my grandsons loves it, and so I did teach him how to make it. But it's the combination that really is good.
I think that might be the most moist cake I've ever eaten. It's it's dense, but not too dense. It's, but it's not dry at all.
No, it's
so
not dry.
good. So good.
And the icing is creamy and rich. It's rich. It's got butter and cream cheese in it. Dairy
But you
and fruit.
You don't taste too much of the cream cheese. You know, sometimes it
No.
can be too cream cheesy
Yeah.
for me, but this is really just a perfect blend of that.
I bet you could use that low-fat cream cheese. I don't think it would affect the taste at all because you're not cooking it. So
You want to
I don't. But
make it a little
you
bit.
could try it if you
A
want.
little bit healthier.
Anyway, the recipe will be on the website, and I know you will like it, and I know you'll have success with it. It's a pretty easy cake to make, and then all your friends will ask you to make it for them.
All right. Well, thank y'all for joining us today, and let us know if you make this cake. It's delicious and wonderful, as
Yeah,
always.
listen.
So
Thank you.
we'll
Bye-bye.
see you later. Bye-bye.